when I was 21.
What's going on, guys? Kooks46 here, bringing you another episode of MLB The Show 18 Dream Cards. This is the series where we go over different legends and different flashback cards that we want to see added into the next installment of MLB The Show. This series is called Dream Cards, so there are no rules and no restrictions on the cards that we can have. Be sure to go back and check out any previous episodes of MLB The Show 18 Dream Cards to see if the card that you are thinking of might have already been picked. And if you have a suggestion for a card that you would like to see in MLB The Show 18, make sure to leave that in the comments for a chance to be featured in the next episode of Dream Cards. We do this series in a somewhat structured manner where we do a flashback hitter, a legend hitter, a flashback pitcher, and a legend pitcher each week. So we do 4 cards, 2 flashbacks, 2 legends, and we've got 4 good ones for you today. So we're going to start it out with a card that a lot of people want to see. This card has been requested for months and even years at this point, but we are going to be talking about the late, the great Roy Halladay. This card was suggested by so many different people. UFC Guy 101, Mr. Cool, Ozzy Boy 19, Cesar Benitez, Dev Cook, Max Murray, Professor Pinhead, Travi Ballin, Nicholas Peterson, and The Process. Thank you guys for your suggestions for Roy Halladay. It's still very tough to discuss Roy Halladay just because, his passing was so recent. Rest in peace to the Doc. But I feel like a great way to honor the Doc is by giving him an excellent card in the next MLB The Show. And if we were going to pick a season, we'd probably pick his 2010 season. You could really make a case for any season from 2006 through 2011, both with Toronto and Philadelphia. But 2010 was a fantastic year for him, man. 2.44 ERA, 219 strikeouts, and only 30 walks in an entire season. Only 30 walks in 250 innings pitched. That's insane. That's a very good strikeout to walk ratio. Of course, he had that amazing no-hitter in the playoffs against the Cincinnati Reds. One of the few pitchers who actually has that status of not allowing a hit in a postseason game. That's really incredible. He was an all-star. Of course, he won the Cy Young this year. He led the National League in WAR. He had an 8.3 wins above replacement. But like I said, you could really choose any season from 2006 to 2011. He finished in the top 5 of Cy Young voting all 6 of those seasons. 6 consecutive top 5 votes. Like, if that isn't Hall of Fame MVP caliber numbers, I don't know what is. But Roy Halladay is just one of those true aces. There's not many pitchers that have ever been like him. He had an incredible 16-year career. This 2010 Roy Halladay would no question be a hardware card, and I don't think there's any question. He'd be a 99 overall. He had a marvelous pitching season. He's one of the best pitchers in recent memory, and it's truly sad that he had to go as soon as he did because, he probably would have done a lot for baseball outside of the game after being retired. But I feel like San Diego Studios, we should get this guy a card. We should get him in the show 18. Give him a 99 overall hardware card for that 2010 season. All right, so now that we did the legend pitcher of the week, let's go ahead and move on to the flashback hitter of the week. So the flashback hitter of the week, guys, we are going back to the 2017 season once again, and we're going to be taking Justin Smoak. Once again, this card was suggested by a lot of viewers. Ozzy Boy 19, The Blue Jay, J-Man, Slim Shady, Nick DeRush, Scott Morrison, Devin Cool 123, Dom Yorks, Yeezy 91, Droughted Drizzle, and Game Bros. Thank you guys for your Justin Smoak suggestion. But Justin Smoak had an amazing 2017 campaign. He was the starting first baseman for the American League All-Star team. And this was easily the best season of his career. 270 average, 38 home runs, 90 RBIs, got 151 hits, the most hits in his entire career in one season. Here's a really good stat right here. 998 fielding percentage, only 2 errors in over 1,300 chances. Those are amazing defensive numbers. He was over a 3-win player for the Blue Jays last year, and I didn't know if I should give this guy a breakout or an all-star card. I looked at both, and I feel like this would be a really good fit for an all-star card because, this is his first all-star appearance. It's his best season of his career. I feel like instead of giving him a breakout card, like a breakout card to me is a really easy card to give. It's like, oh, the first good year of your career, you get a breakout. But I feel like since he was an all-star, I would give him an all-star tiered card. As far as the overall, I couldn't really tell. I kind of compared his numbers to the Marwin Gonzalez card that I showed off last week. I rated that Marwin Gonzalez card at a 91, and their numbers were fairly similar. Gonzalez had a higher average, but Gonzalez is also able to play a lot more over the field. I know that doesn't directly factor into the overall rating, but I would give this Justin Smoak 2017 card anywhere from a 90 to a 91 overall. I don't think he'd be a high diamond. I definitely think he would have good contact contact and good power numbers. He definitely would have good fielding, but fielding at first base, like, you can put anybody there. He might be higher than a 90, I don't know. These ratings are always the more difficult thing for me to try to factor in. But I do think his 2017 campaign would warrant a diamond in my opinion. So thank you guys to whoever suggested Justin Smoak as the flashback hitter of the week. And now we are going to move to the flashback pitcher of the week. So this one was one of the picks that I made. I usually make 2 of my own picks for each week, and then I choose 2 viewer comments. And I was looking through the inventory, I was looking through guys, and I was trying to remember who had a good season in recent memory, and I went with Kyle Hendricks, and I gave him a 2016 breakout card. Now, I didn't know if I should give Kyle Hendricks a breakout card or a postseason card. It could really go either way, because in the postseason, in the National League Championship Series and the World Series, his ERA was fantastic. He had a 0.71 ERA in the National League Championship Series, 12.2 innings pitched, only allowing 1 earned run. In the World Series, 9 innings pitched, only allowing 1 earned run again. He just pitched really well against the Dodgers and really well against the Indians, so I think a postseason card could be warranted. But also, when you take a step back and you actually look at his numbers, he had a pretty solid 2016 season, and it's easily the best year of his career. There was somebody in the comments who commented about Kyle Hendricks, and that is Tony Fanara. He said a 15 Kyle Hendricks breakout, but I feel like 16 is a better season for him to get a breakout card, because in 2016, he had a 2.13 ERA, 170 strikeouts, and 190 innings pitched. He also led the National League in ERA. He had the lowest ERA in the National League. That was a really good stat for him to have. He was a 5-win player for the Cubs that season. So he didn't just pitch well in the playoffs, he pitched pretty well for them the entire season. He also finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting, so he was a top 3 Cy Young candidate. That's kind of one of the reasons why I decided to do a breakout card instead of a postseason one, but I could see how somebody would want a postseason one, just repeating myself at this point. Now, just like Justin Smoak, I didn't really know exactly what to rate this card. I tried to find somebody to compare it to, and I decided to compare it to the show's finest, Luis Severino. I was checking the Severino card, and they kind of had similar seasons. Severino had just about the same innings pitched, he had a lot more strikeouts, but he also had a higher ERA and he gave up a few more hits. So I feel like they had similar seasons stat-wise. Not saying they're necessarily similar pitchers, but statistically they had somewhat similar seasons. So I think I would probably land this Kyle Hendricks 2016 card anywhere from a 90 to a 93. I just put a 93 on his card just for this video, but I could definitely see him being anywhere between 90 and 93. I do think this card is going to crack a diamond if it would be in the game, but I don't know. Like I said, the ratings are always the tough part for me for these videos. Alright guys, now we have gone through all those cards. Now we are going to go to the Legend Hitter of the Week. This card is one of the most heavily requested cards in all of MLB The Show. Everybody wants to see this guy. One of the most popular players of all time, one of the best Pittsburgh Pirates of all time, if not the best, and that is going to be Roberto Clemente. His card even says Bob, but we had some suggestions for this guy: Jaden Doan, Ozzy Boy 19, Shea Woof the Dog, and Clemente 21. Of course, fitting. But man, this card would be an absolute monster. If you're looking at a season, you're probably going to choose his 1966 season where he did win the MVP. He hit 317, 29 home runs, 119 RBIs, the third of his 4 total seasons getting over 200 hits. He won the MVP, he won the Gold Glove, of course, he was an all-star. But there are multiple versions of this card that I could see happening. 1966 is probably the year that people will remember the most, but 1967 was a really good year too. 357 average, 23 home runs, 110 RBIs, 209 hits. He did not win the MVP that season in 67. That award went to Orlando Cepeda, but he still finished top 3. Once again, he won the Gold Glove and he won an All-Star. But I mean, you just look at this guy's career: 15-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glover, 4 times batting title. He was an MVP, 2 World Series championships, a World Series MVP, and of course he is a Hall of Famer. Even continuing going off of different versions of this card, you could even do a 1971 postseason Roberto Clemente. That was the season where he won the World Series MVP. In the World Series, he hit .414 with 12 hits, 2 home runs, and slugged .759 in that World Series. That's amazing. So like I said, there's probably a lot of versions of this card that would definitely work. I think if they were to go with anyone, I think they would probably go with the 66 hardware. But any of these versions that I've talked about easily would be a 99 overall. He's got the hitting, he's got the fielding. The speed might not be as great, you know, he wasn't as much of a stolen base threat. But if you have the fielding and you have the arm, I think Roberto Clemente is a 99 overall. So there you go, guys. Those are the 4 dream cards for this week. If your card that you left in the comments of the last week did not get chosen, go ahead and drop it in the comments of this video again. You might get chosen next week, or if you want to try out a different card, go ahead and drop that, or just drop both. But hopefully you guys enjoyed these cards. I really did. I love making this series for you guys. So thank you for watching. Drop a thumbs up on the video if you did enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.